In the kingdom of Lythorne, the royal seal was more than a symbol. It was a key. With that seal, a paper became law. A treasury order became unquestionable. A warehouse release became official. People didn't trust handwriting. They trusted the seal. So when the seal went missing, the palace panicked. But the city didn't, at first, because nothing looked broken. The guards still stood at the gates. The market still opened. The king still sat on the throne. Then money started disappearing, not from pockets, from the treasury. It began like routine. A messenger arrived with a sealed order, payment for grain deliveries to the army. The clerk checked the wax impression. Perfect. He didn't recognize the messenger, but faces changed. The seal didn't. So the clerk approved the release. Coins were counted. A heavy bag was tied. A receipt was stamped. The messenger left. The next day, another sealed order arrived. Payment for road repairs. Same seal. Different courier. Approved again. After that, it happened every day. Small sums. Never too much. Always reasonable. That was the genius. Greedy theft is loud. Believable theft is quiet. This was an early 1600s-style kingdom, where paper orders and wax could move more value than swords. And the seal could open any door without touching a lock. A week later, the port erupted. A merchant stormed into a palace office holding a sealed release document. "Your treasury paid me," he said, "for shipments I never made." The clerk snapped back. "The seal is royal. The order is valid." The merchant's eyes narrowed. "That seal," he said quietly, "is exactly how you've been robbed." The palace began checking past orders, and a horrifying pattern emerged. Every payment was properly sealed. Every document looked official. Every clerk had done their job. So where was the crime? It wasn't in the paperwork. It was in the seal. Someone had either stolen it or copied it well enough to become the king for 5 minutes at a time. Rumors leaked. And rumors do something money hates. They weaken confidence. Suppliers demanded cash up front. Guilds locked their coin away. Money changers raised fees. Credit tightened. Now the theft was draining more than the treasury. It was draining trust. Then a junior clerk noticed something tiny. On a few orders, the wax looked slightly too smooth. On others, the impression was perfect, but the edge of the emblem felt soft, like it came from a worn copy. Not a different seal, a twin. And that meant the worst possibility. The kingdom didn't just lose a seal. It lost the ability to prove what royal even meant. The king ordered a quiet trap. No public panic. No mass inspections. Because if the thief sensed pressure, the orders would stop, and proof would vanish. So they created a bait order, a large payment, tempting, but controlled. It was sealed under watch. The paper carried a tiny hidden mark, and it was sent through the normal channel so it looked real. 2 days later, the sealed order arrived at the treasury desk. Perfect impression. Wrong messenger. The clerk acted normal and approved the release. Guards followed the courier from a distance, through narrow streets, past guild halls, toward the river warehouses. Then the courier turned into a back workshop behind a candlemaker's shop. The guards moved fast. Inside, they found what the kingdom feared: wax blocks, engraving tools, a metal stamp nearly identical to the royal seal, and stacks of half-dried documents ready for delivery. Not a crude fake, a professional twin. The ring wasn't made of street thieves. It was made of people who understood administration. A former palace servant who knew schedules. An engraver skilled enough to mimic the emblem. Couriers paid to walk with confidence. They weren't stealing coins directly. They were authorizing coins to move. That's why this scam worked. It turned theft into procedure. A clerk doesn't want to fight a sealed order. He wants his day to stay normal. And the seal makes normal feel safe. The arrests happened at dawn. The city expected relief. But the damage wasn't only the stolen money. It was the question left behind. How many sealed orders were real? How many were ghosts? For weeks, everyone hesitated. Clerks demanded extra verification. Payments slowed. Suppliers raised prices to cover risk. Trade became suspicious. Because the kingdom had learned something terrifying. Authority can be forged. And once people believe authority can be forged, they stop trusting paper. They stop trusting promises. They trust only what they can touch. That's why money started disappearing. Money follows permission, and the royal seal was permission made visible. The thief didn't need to break the treasury door. He only needed the symbol that told everyone, "Open it."